Tony Burkett.
Hey, what's up?
Not much, dude. I'm just here to learn a little bit about you. You know,
Okay.
I know a little bit about you, but I wanna know Tony.
All right.
All right. So
Me too. I'm going to be honest with you. I do too.
were you born here? Where'd you grow up?
I'm from Honolulu, Hawaii. No. Yeah, I'm from here. Myrtle Grove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up? Were there kids in your neighborhood?
There were.
Yeah.
hmm
Like
I had a couple friends in the neighborhood that was like, there were a lot of kids in the neighborhood that had authentic relationships with, but I always felt like everyone else in the neighborhood, although the kids hated me. You know what I mean? I just was.
Yeah, I felt the same way growing up. I was the baby of three in the core family.
Yeah.
And I was always just shunned because they shunned, therefore the rest kind of just went with it, you know?
hmm
Yeah. So you grew up in Myrtle Grove.
hmm
You've lived in Pensacola forever.
Well, I've moved away for school and moved around a little after that, and then moved out to Oregon a couple of years ago. I was out there for 2 years.
I remember that. It was a it was a rough turn for.
It was neat for 6 months, and then COVID happened.
It was a rough.
That Portland's the last place you want to be during COVID.
Cold or just
people are crazy.
I hear that.
Like super crazy.
So, growing up, did you have like an idea of what you wanted to be, or did you like any specific hobbies that?
Dude, I wanted to be a comedian when I turned 6 years old. I remember there was a Dave Coulier stand-up special who was Uncle Joey on Full House. And you remember like the America's Funniest Home Videos would come on, and then after that another show that was like that was hosted by him, by Uncle Joey and some gal. And then they were like, you know, next week they played his stand-up special afterwards or whatever. And I was just like, I could do that better.
Yeah, he also I think made it seem realistic, like a realistic dream to people who really,
because it's your uncle.
Yeah.
And you know, I just always found him to be incredibly corny, like puppets on the show and stuff when I was a child. And I just was like, this guy can do this he just makes weird voices and puppets. And and then I watched, it was weird. I was raised in a weird, really weird family because a conservative Christian, and we were not allowed to watch MTV or like The Simpsons. I wasn't allowed to watch that, but every Sunday night we would get together as a family and watch In Living Color. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We loved it, dude.
I was thinking about Joey and the guy that was like fast as fast can be. You'll never catch me.
Yeah.
The
Jackalope.
Yo, dude. Did he invent the jackalope, or did that viewer?
I feel like it's one of those rest stops somewhere, like in Tennessee, where they have, this was a redneck washboard, and it's like some stupid, like, you know, little contraption. And I feel like that guy, the reason that they don't have that stuff anymore is because he was like Jackalope, and he just retired.
He's just retired off Jackalope when he hit it. It's kind of almost like having like the ball sack on the truck, the ball sack truck nuts.
Yeah, you know, the nut sack. This is something that I invented, and did it for the gag of it. I put truck nuts on my squatty potty. I got the photographic evidence.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant.
I was really proud of that one.
Yeah. All right. So, as you grew up, you knew you wanted to be a comedian at an early age.
I mean, I knew I wanted to do comedy. I didn't think it was like you know what I mean? Like that's what I wanted to do.
Any other hobbies?
I mean, I would play baseball, but I sucked at it.
Okay.
And then, you know, I I took Taekwondo one time, and this older guy, and I quit going, like, after, like, you know, the second week. I was like, this is dancing, you know, because you just memorize the movements, and then you perform it, and then you get your next belt or whatever. I just thought it was done. It was not fun. I thought I was going to go there and beat people up or learn how to beat up people, but it was just like choreography. And so kids were like, hey, why'd you stop going? I was like, man, I beat up the instructor.
I went to one karate class, dude. One. And I was like, I'd rather play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, one time, me and my buddy, it was like 6th grade, I think. And we were doing some 5K, right? We were going to do a 5K. And this is my buddy who walked around the neighborhood and just clowned all the time or whatever. So we're going to do some 5K. And I was not physically fit. I wasn't running a 5K in the 6th grade. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I thought we were going to walk this and just clown, you know, and then go to the pancake breakfast afterwards. And dude, as soon as I fired the gun, he takes off running and is gone. So I'm just by myself. I walked the 5K, just looking around Pensacola, and then I got at the end. They were like, where were you? I was like, some kid got hit by a car, and I rescued him.
So, after grade school, what'd you do after grade school?
Is that
like college?
Yes. I went to PJC, and then I went to Florida State.
Did you get a degree?
Sociology, a worthless degree.
Yeah. But you
completely worthless. But it was actually interesting to me. I switched majors a bunch, and then I ended up with sociology. And I actually do you know what I mean? Like I find like the studying different cultures and stuff fascinating. You know what I mean? I got a minor in world religion because this was like, you know, right after 9/11, and I was like, I want to learn about Islam. So I took a bunch of Islam classes, and then it was getting towards the end. They're like, you know, you take a few more classes and you can have a minor in religion. I was like, yeah, let's do it, you know, because I found that fascinating. I took a class on cults. That was awesome. Like, there was a lot of cool opportunities at Florida State.
That's wild.
While I was there, I did join the Independent Filmmakers League. And that was for people that weren't in film school. We'd make short videos and have, like, contests, you know. And all mine were stupid. Like, it'd be me and this dude walking around campus interviewing people and be like, what do you think about that? They said why people can't use the water fountains here? You know, like, just asking stupid stuff, like making up this fake stuff that was going on, you know, and would ask people about it, and was holding a carrot, not even a microphone. It was just like a Sony Handycam. So we weren't taking it serious. There was people like really, really doing, and oh dude, I'm in T-Pain's first music video.
T-Pain?
I'm sprung, dude, because a dude that was in the Independent Filmmakers League, he's like a local rapper is making a music video, and they said that our group could come out there and just observe. Somebody knew the director of the video or something, you know? And they're like, yeah, bring some of the students out, you know, to see what it's like. I didn't think this guy was going to be T-Pain. I just thought it was some local rapper in, you know, in Tallahassee. And then this guy gets gigantic. And I've even looked for myself in the video. There's like a scene where he's like sitting on the roof and there's a huge party going out by a pool. And it's like so many people. And I'm in there somewhere. All of us are in there. I haven't been able to find it. But, you know, they might have cut it out. But we were filmed to be in it, you know.
He's one of my heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they say that...
Oh, yeah, he's like big time into streaming or live video, like...
He does do streaming, yeah. He's a great entertainer all around, but, you know, people claim that he ruined music by auto-tune.
Yeah.
And then he clapped back with a couple songs and a couple live concerts where he just went straight from the diaphragm. Yeah. And just, his voice is beautiful. So there's nothing more than I love when somebody puts you in a box and then you're like, oh, dude. And just punch your way right back out of that box.
Dude, also when I was in that Independent Filmmakers League, there was like a video. I never submitted any of my stuff to the contest or whatever because mine were just stupid, fun videos. You know what I mean? It was just, that was interesting to me. But I went to one of the contests one time, and there was this dude, and he was trying to make like this artsy something, a lot of cut foot, you know what I mean? Like trying to make it real artsy with like French music under it or something. Dude, and some of the scenes was him having sex with this girl, dude. It showed his penis and everything. Like they were having sex. Dude, he conned some girl, like, I'm making this art film, you know? And this guy wasn't in film school. He was just a hobbyist or whatever. But dude, he's like, and everybody in this auditorium was like, oh my God. I can't believe he just whipped his penis out and was having sex. It was crazy, dude. But I was like, that guy is a genius.
Grow up to be Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah. Like, hey, you want to come be in one of my independent kind of art films? What it's going to do is I'm going to have sex with you, and then we're going to go walk around campus with a carrot and ask people a bunch of stupid questions. It's real artsy. Avant-garde.
So you've been in comedy for a little while.
Yeah.
When you put yourself out there like that, you're subject to judgment. What is your take and perception on people out there judging you?
I mean, I don't really think of it like that they're judging me, you know? Like, I mean, I guess, I'm sure they are on multiple levels, but it's just more just like, say what I think is funny, and it's not always funny to people, but you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, dude. The thing about it is, there was no scene whenever I started. I went to Austin, Texas to do my first open mic because I was like, I don't want anyone, you know. And it didn't even occur to me to go to New Orleans. I was just thinking of the nearest place that had stand-up. I want to try it, you know. And I felt very judged that time, and I bombed real bad. I apologized at the end, you know. But then I was like, you know, I'll never do this bad again. And then we started up Coyotes and stuff. So it was like, I find it hard to like join a scene that's already a thing. I have done that once when I went to Portland. It's not fun. It's not fun. And the aspects of that is what will make you hate comedy. Not comedy, but like doing comedy. But like I have the advantage here of being, you know, one of the first people. Like you didn't have to find your way into the scene. The three of us or whatever was the scene, you know what I mean? And so I never really felt judged in that way because no one's doing great.
Yeah.
Then we all stunk, you know? And as far as putting yourself out there, I was an RA in college. I was always funny with people I knew, but I wasn't like taking risks or doing something I thought that was funny that everyone would think I'm a crazy person, but who cares? Because it's hilarious, you know? But then I became a RA in college, and you have to really be outgoing. And I kind of forced myself to do that because that was the only way I could move away to college. Free room and board. You know what I mean? Like, it made sense. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Free room and board. And I really came out of my shell there. And so I don't have a problem, like, making a fool out of myself. I don't care. You know what I mean? I'd rather do that than be cringy. Like, I think back to things I've said when I was young, and I still, like, lose sleep over how cringy it is. I know I'm not going to go up there and say anything cringy.
Yeah.
That would hurt, you know.
What about someone online or someone walking by you that maybe somebody that you looked up to at the time, and they're like, you know, dude, you just suck.
I don't know what he's ever said that. I know that sounds. I'm sure people think it, but no one's ever just been like, "You suck at comedy."
I'm trying to get.
I don't though, so I don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
I love, but it's only because I love it. I love it more than it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love it. So I really care.
What I'm trying to get to is what is your perception? How do you move on and press forward when you know there's pressure around you or haters or people that aren't pulling for you?
I don't know, man. It's like I'd rather someone not like me than be fake. You know what I mean? like, I'm not someone who's like being confrontational all the time, but it's like, we don't have to be pals or whatever.
I find that interesting. I come across the people you may know on Facebook, and it's people that we mutually don't really like each other.
Yeah,
and I respect them. I like them more than the
right.
fakes because it's authentic.
And at the end of the day, dude, everyone's the star of their own movie. What, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no matter what they think about you, unless they're like a obsessed, like, stalker kind of person, they don't really care about you. They're concerned with you're just a side character. You're not that important to them in the grand scheme of things. And if they are, it's like, maybe good to know that, because this person going to like try to kill you and eat you to, be closer to you or something.
All right, so when things are feeling down, what do you do to feel up? Let me rephrase that. When things are trying to make you feel down, how do you stay up?
Well, man, the world sucks, dude. Like, everything is constantly trying to make you feel down. You know what I mean? So I try to do something to, I don't know. I don't ever just sit and feeling bad too long, unless it's some like major life-changing terrible thing, But I don't know. I'd have to think of like an example to give you like a honest, I kind of just try to distract myself, I guess. This probably sounds like gross, but I enjoy exercising and running and stuff, burn off some steam, that type of thing.
Oh, it's a great way to it helps defragment your mind. It's almost its own form of sleep exercise to me, kind of, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. I just like to have something positive where I'm getting better in some way,
Yeah.
But I mean, down as far as comedy goes, man, sometimes I will have nothing's. It's not that things aren't funny, but like, no, I don't know how to, you hear people like Jerry Seinfeld, like, I sit down and write for an hour every day. It's like, I can't just put a bunch of words on paper. It doesn't mean anything. Like, it has to come to me like an idea, or I, think about something. Like, I can't like approach that. You know what I mean? That mindset, like, stuff has to come to me. And sometimes I'll go months, man. And that is the worst. But usually I'll have like a creative burst when it comes back. That sucks. I mean, could you imagine if your whole life was, I guess it'd be all right. But like, just needing to be creative like that constantly and having dry months for 5-6 months sometimes, Oh,
100%. How old are you?
I'm 41.
Can you hit the AF button on me?
Yeah. Ask me that again.
Got you. How old are you?
26.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. I wouldn't have put you a year past 25.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
So
yeah.
In your 26 years that you've spent on this planet, what would you say would be, I don't know, like not your outlook on this planet or being here, but like, what's the biggest thing that to this point that you've taken from being here?
I don't know. Here's the thing about me, man. Now, there's not a lot of things that are set in stone. If you were to ask me my favorite color right now, I'll tell you one thing, and in 15 minutes, it'll be something different. You know what I mean? And as far as like what I've learned, I don't know, man. We're just all on our own kind of path. And it's like, do I have any advice that would, Be kind to people. Be kind, be genuine. Don't because we're stupid, man. Whenever I first met you, we didn't butt heads really, but the way that I thought I was like some gatekeeper with comedy, or the way that I think that you should do it is the right way. And and I was new to it. There was no scene or anything like that really, kind of just figuring it out as you go. But I was so sure of like what mattered in comedy, and stuff like that. Never assuming like, well, just because I do something one way doesn't mean that another person can't do it a different way and get to the same place. You know what I mean? It's like I can bunt, I can get hit by the ball, I can get walked, or I can hit a single, and either one I'm going to get to first base. Doesn't matter, And like your way, when you had the stuff in your arms, I was like, that's not respectable. And then I realized how like stupid that was. And I felt bad about that for a long time, but it was a real learning moment for me that there's not a way, like just mind your own business, help people when you can, and like give people the benefit of the doubt. Like obviously there's people like it's just, common sense not to give them the benefit of the doubt.
I want you to know that in my timeline of life, that was from when that happened to when we understood who we were was a mere flash in time.
Yeah, it wasn't a long thing. I learned it very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just remember thinking like that's stupid. Like, why do you want everyone to do things the way that you do? That's what's cool about comedy. You do whatever you want, There was a guy that came out the back porch one time, and this is the thing about comedy in Florida and I've asked other comics from other states before, like, how many times at an open mic were you 95% certain that the person on stage was about to pull out a gun and kill everybody in there? And they're like, what? And I was like, all right, that's a comedy thing. But sometimes those people, like, if you just embrace everything's funny, that's hilarious when that happens. Like, have an exit plan, have a backup plan, but just like, Yeah, I don't know. There's not one way to do it. I don't know.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
It's long-winded.
Well, what I took from that is times where it will ever be evolving. So, like you said, your favorite color might be blue right now. It might be yellow in 2 months, but also things can be done in a universal amount of ways, infinite amount of ways. You know what I'm saying?
But I do have one thing I'm certain on. Norm Macdonald is the greatest comedian that has ever lived, in my opinion.
I agree.
And that will never change. That's the only thing that I'm like that. Yeah, forever. It just is my favorite.
What would you say one of the biggest highlights of your comedy career has been?
Man, there was a thing I used to do, and I need to do it more, but it's like I don't really know. I'd set a goal for myself in comedy every year. And like, I want to perform at this place. I want to do, this many mics, and I haven't done that in a long time. Those were the most gratifying as far as just like setting a goal within the thing that I love more than anything and like accomplishing it. But then, there are opportunities that I've had that were, somebody who loves comedy. Like, you never hear people talk. This isn't a funny interview. I'm sorry. But like, you ever hear someone, I forget what I was saying now. I don't remember at all.
We're talking about highlights of your comedy career and opportunities that came across. And you remember one time.
Oh, how some people are like, if I they can't watch comedy because they're afraid that they'll pick up things or take on people's like identity and like they're like, I can't watch it because it'll affect my comedy. Dude, if I couldn't watch comedy, I'd quit comedy so fast. Stand up, if I couldn't like watch comedy, I'm a fan of it. And so I have had opportunities in comedy where, you know, I got to open for someone or do something, then I'm like, that was awesome. You know?
Yeah.
That was really cool.
100%, bro. There was Trailer Park Boys.
Oh god.
We don't need to go into it.
I got booed off a stage in front of like 500 people in downtown Pensacola. It was terrible. But if I could go back, oh dude.
Oh, hey, just so y'all know, they told Tony it had to be a clean set within.
I had to be completely clean.
And how much time did you have to prepare for that?
I don't know, a day or two.
Still.
No, even still, I had a clean set and it was funny stuff.
It just.
Yeah, I mean, I did what they asked, but they were literally setting me up because I got booed off stage and left. And then they came on stage and the guy was like, horse cock, immediately started a horse cock chant. So I was like, okay, you set me up. I learned a valuable lesson. You don't have to take every gig.
No.
You know, anytime comedians would come through, I'd hit up Vino and be like, let me open. I do comedy, you know, and it's like, no, dude, you don't need to do everything.
Any highlights of absolute crushing?
Yeah, I mean,
and not can I layer that question?
Sure.
Any highlights of absolute crushing and lucid thought? You know, where like it's nothing's gonna miss.
Well, I mean, I've had those shows before, you know, but I really try to prepare for shows. I come up with a set list before, and the day of, I will walk until I'll go for a super long walk, and I won't come home until like I'm ready I know exactly what I'm doing, you know, added in some stuff or whatever. But I will tell you this. This is one of my favorite sets that I did. So I got booked on a show at, what's the Irish bar on Pensacola Beach?
Patty O'Leary's.
Patty O'Leary's. Okay. Doing a show there. I've done shows there before. They never really went well. They were just whatever. There was people that didn't know comedy was going on, you know, that were there to drink or whatever. And just no one really cared about the show going on, you know.
Yeah.
No vibe in the room.
Not set up for comedy.
So I prepared for the show like I would. Wasn't expecting much. And on the way there, I was riding with Zach, and we were going across a bridge, and we found out that night was a surprise 50th birthday party for the guy that owns the place. It was going to be packed. There was like over 100 people in there, loud. They were there for a surprise birthday party, not a comedy show. No one was paying attention. Every comic, people were supposed to be doing 12. They were doing like 3. You know, like people were getting off stage, and I don't blame them. I don't at all. So I understood going up there, no one is going to listen. So I'm going to do like a shower set. Like whenever I do comedy in the shower, I've had some of my best sets in the shower. And I was like, I'm going to do that. And so I had probably, you know, an hour before the show started to just kind of come up, think of stuff. And dude, in the middle of my set, and this is not some bragging, this is why it's gratifying to me. I got them. They turned on the spotlight on the stage, and it got completely silent in there for like 5 minutes. I ended up going over time, and that was like, not to brag on myself or anything, but it was the absolute, like, that's my whole theory of comedy, is to care more than anything at all. Like, this is the only objective for the day, is to prepare to do an amazing job. Care every minute of the day until you get there, and then don't care. And that's what I did at that show, and it paid off, man. It wasn't great, you know. I mean, I didn't crush or anything like that, but I got them to be quiet at a 50th birthday party, surprise birthday party for that. You know what I mean?
100%.
It was gratifying. It was really gratifying.
100%, dude. To take people who not only chalked up the comedy as a loss, didn't even realize it was really happening, didn't care.
Didn't want it.
Yes. You clipped an ear that turned into 2 ears, that turned into all the ears, right?
It was awesome.
To
But that's how comedy goes, you know? I'll have a set and I'm like, I can do this, man. I can do it. And the next set comes on, I'm like, I'm a fraud. I suck at comedy, you know? Like it's... But, you know, if they all go well, you're not taking enough risks, I guess.
That's true. That's true. I do find it wild to have an audience that's there for jokes, like dick jokes.
It's such a having a hot mic, like a show that I did a show last night, and there were like 100-something people there, and they all paid a nice amount of money, like they wanted it, and it was great. Everybody did fantastic. Like that's like I feel like it's great when those things come around. But I feel like that's the kind of the career of comedy, is to like earn that one day so all your shows are like that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, all these big name comedians and stuff, like the really big names, they, you know, I'm sure a lot of people are like, well, it must be easy to, you know, have people paying all this money to come and want it. And it's like, but they earned that. You know how many times they did terrible? You know what I mean? Like that's the payoff.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw Riff Raff play a show.
You told me about that.
Yeah.
I've told other people about that.
Yeah, it's like people don't understand that me and you both have played shows to nobody.
Oh yeah.
Many times.
Yeah.
And you don't just get to a crowd of 100 or 200 unless you've been through those. Mm-hmm. And also, just because you've been to a crowd of 100 or 200 doesn't mean that you might not wind up back at a crowd of 2 as well, mm-hmm. right? And that's what I took from that Riff Raff show was like, dude's been through it, you know, dude's done it. Like, dude gets it, and as comedians who struggle through the grind as well, so do we, you know?
Well, I like that you told me that there were no people there, but he was performing like it was a packed stadium.
100%.
And that's awesome. I respect that a lot.
All right. So Tony Burkett.
Mm-hmm. I've been thinking about going by Anthony.
Okay.
But it's weird because I really like the name Tony. I like the name. It's like I don't even dislike my name, and I think that's my midlife crisis. Yeah. I don't have the money to have a real one, so it's like I'm gonna just go by Anthony for a little while.
Okay.
And I got a few pair of Tevas. I bought them because they're hilarious, and I got some outlandish ones. And I was just getting into my Teva phase, and my marriage dissolved, not because of the Tevas. And that's a weird place to be as a single man on wearing Tevas because they're hilarious phase of my poor man's midlife crisis. It's like, first of all, how big of a red flag? Am I going to just not meet anyone because I have on the Tevas? Or am I like, do I just be me and wait until I meet some woman who thinks it's... meet some woman who understands how hilarious the Tevas are. It's a weird time, you know?
They're out there, dude. They're out there. It's just hard as hell to find people. All right. I guess I kind of already asked this question, right? But I'm gonna kind of do my best to re-ask it.
All right.
All right. If you had the stage in a non-comedic sense right now, right, and somebody just was in a Q&A in the crowd, and the crowd it could be the entire world, but they're like, you know, what is your outlook if you could tell us one thing to take away from this experience, if you could tell us one thing, what could you tell us?
Be authentic. Be yourself no matter what. You know? Like you will find people that you'll be happy. You know? Most people spend time like trying to impress other people or being who they think that they should be, you know, and then they make friends and relationships with people who think that's who they are. And they're probably being fake, not fake, but inauthentic, you know. I think if everyone would just be authentic. I mean, obviously there's people out there like who are like, my most authentic self is to kill a bunch of people, you know. Not them so much, but just to be authentic, I guess. I've spent years of my life not being authentic, and I regret, like, I wish I could go back, you know? And I remember I was like in 7th grade, and I was a very authentic version of myself. And then I just started wanting to fit in, you know? And now I'm that 7th grade I've just decided to be me, and it's that 7th grade kid. Same sense of humor. Understands the world a little bit better, though, you know? And I don't know. So yeah, I guess that.
Dude, I appreciate you letting me talk to you in a less than comedic fashion.
Yeah, I don't really do that. This is the first time. Anytime people want to talk about comedy, I'm like, nah, that's not funny. People don't want to watch that. So yeah, I know, I'm sorry it wasn't funny.
It wasn't about that.
Yeah.
It was about Tony Burkett.
All right.
Thanks for being here, dude.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.